What up, everybody? It's your boy Hally back again. GVG Podcast, Detroit representative to the day that I die, east side in the building and all that good stuff. I hope you blessed. I hope this message finds you blessed. Y'all know how I do. It's GVG. We drop episodes every Thursday. It's God versus gods, the true God versus the deities and people and things that we worship and put in front of him. Y'all know how I do. I get my points off the phone, then I go off the fly. Y'all ready? It's already done. Today we're going to be talking about the culture. This is part 3. You know, the first 2 were about the rap culture, but this is just about that culture in general, that urban culture, that backwards culture, that crazy mentality culture that we have, and the differences. Like, there's so many different cultures in this world, but in America, we have a classy culture, and then we have a ghetto culture. That doesn't matter how much money you make. You can have $1 billion and still be ghetto. Or you can have $100 and still be classy. But in today's time, I can see the maturation of the seeds planted in this ghetto mentality that we have. So we're going to jump into that. I might as well make it part 3. We're going to jump into this ghetto culture, this ratchet culture that we love so dearly. Let's go. The title of this is going to be When Culture Strikes. Bear with me. Let's go. So the first thing is this. Culture is a big factor in your reactions, your healing, and defining of certain words and situations. So a lot of people don't want to factor in the way you were raised or the environment that you were in made you a product of that environment. So, like, there are certain people, their grandparents were doctors. Their parents were doctors, and now they're studying in college to be a doctor. And I'm pretty sure they're like, I want my kid to be a doctor or a nurse or somewhere in that field. They have a prestigious culture of the type of employment, the type of class that they want to live in. So that doesn't mean that they're not ghetto. But what I'm saying is they just have a prestigious culture when it comes to their employment, their education, their standards. So, and then you go to places in the hood where my granddad was this, you know, he was a bootlegger. My dad ran numbers and was with all the women and drinking hooch in the bar, and now I'm on the street selling drugs and doing this and messing with the women. Like, it's a trickle-down effect of we pass down demons to our children. Every generation passes down nuggets and seeds. They could be good or they can be bad. And in this case, we, in the urban communities, in the hood, we're passing down ratchet culture. We're passing down what the enemy wants us to do. The enemy wants us to kill each other. They want us to get pregnant, get diseases, have abortions, you know, be drunk and high all day and party our life away. They want us to fight amongst each other. They want us to always stay consumers. They don't want us to own businesses or just carry ourselves in a way that is reputable. Just carry ourselves in a way that is substantial. Carry ourselves in a way that is elegant or classy. You know, we have been tricked and trained into thinking that ratchet culture is in our blood and that we want to be proud of ratchet culture. We want to actually be proud of being ratchet. It's crazy, right? So let's get into this. There's a difference between being black or African or Moorish or Hebrew or Indian. And everybody say we're different things. There's a difference between your nationality, your heritage, and savagery. Just like there's a difference between being Caucasian or being white and superiority. Just because you are of a darker shade does not mean you have to go to jail. It does not mean you have to have 6 baby mamas. It does not mean that you have to carry 6 guns and smoke 7 blunts and have 8 bottles of liquor in your back seat when you're getting pulled over by the cops. It does not mean that you're supposed to be in toxic relationships. It does not mean that you can't get a good education. It does not mean that you can't go to college. It does not mean that you can't own a business. It does not mean that you are lowest of the low. For some reason, we have associated having a darker shade of skin with savagery and with poverty and with welfare and with AIDS and with abortion and with low-level things. All of us, we associate darker shades with hate, with this crazy competition that we have with each other. And then you have that other side of the spectrum where people look at Caucasian or white people as being superior. Of course, this is something that was taught. This is something that was trained in our mind. We were trained to think that black is lowest of the low and that white is the highest of the high. Even when they made the plagiarized Jesus picture of Caesar Borgias, the Pope's son, they made him white. They made him the whitest of the white. And all of us prayed to that white Jesus, hoping that we could be grafted in as Gentiles. Now we're realizing that that story is even different. But I just want to tell people that class has no color. Ghetto has no color. $1 million has no color. Being shady has no color. These are things that we are taught and things that we are trained to do. Do not believe that because you are a black man or a black woman that you don't deserve the same as any other person, because you do. But also understand that you can't use this as a crutch for the rest of your life. Because you're going to live and you're going to die like everyone else. Your cards are dealt and you have to play them as is. You have to make it out of your situations yourself. You have to learn how to get past the roadblocks and the hurdles that were presented in your life to stop you from being a productive human being. Understand this, especially the young people. You do not have to be a savage. You do not have to be crazy. You do not have to be constantly in jail and fighting in these toxic relationships. You do not have to steal out of every car you see and take from people's purses and fight with rival gang members because you think because I'm black and I'm in this neighborhood that this is what I'm supposed to do, or this is all it is. This is a big world. It's a big world out here, people. And also understand to the white people, to the Caucasians, you, not all of you, but some of you do have the sense that this is your country and that we are just visitors. We are just here and we basically were slaves and built the country, and we should be happy that we are still able to be here. And there is a sense of snobbiness in some people when it comes to being Caucasian. But being Caucasian does not mean you're superior, and it doesn't mean you're inferior. What I'm trying to say is that we are all equal. There may be some differences in the Bible. There may be some differences in nationalities and those things, but we are all equal as people. Why? Because there's universal languages. We all cry, laugh, have emotions. We all get sick. We all have to use the bathroom. We have to eat and sleep. We hurt. And those are all universal things. We don't even have to, an Asian person who doesn't speak English can know I'm sad if I'm crying. So we have to understand that, people, that we are all equal when it comes to this human life. No one is better than anyone. You're not lower or higher because you're black, and you're not lower or higher because you're white. You're not lower or higher because you're Asian, you're Indian, you're Latino, anything. You're not, there's no difference outside of our cultures and the things that we do. But inside this spirit, we are all the same. We all are equal when it comes to the measurements of a human being. Next point. Relationships and dating. There's a funny thing when you talk about ghetto culture and relationships and ghetto culture and dating. For some reason, in the ghetto mindset, we're very fruitful. We out here in them clubs and laying down and having relations and having babies. We're very fruitful, and we don't process the future. We don't process tomorrow. We don't process 2 weeks. We don't process 9 months. We don't process 3 years. We're in that moment. And a lot of us are taught to just live in the moment. Now, you live in the moment in certain areas, but as far as planning, there are certain things that you need to process and plan. And in the ghetto, we are taught to be reactive instead of proactive. And what happens is, when it comes to relationships, you will lay down with a person and create another person before you know who that person is that you're doing it with. Oh, you like the way they look, you like their shoes, you like their outfit, you like their car. They were talking good at the club, but you don't know them. You don't know them personally. And if all you limit your relationship criteria to is money or cars or superficial things or material things, you're probably going to lose in the end. Because in the ghetto, we are taught to be superficial. We are taught to be materialistic, and we are taught to be consumers. So anyone else that is a consumer, and they got on the Gucci and the Nikes and the Louis Vuitton, we instantly gravitate towards those people as if they are better than others because of what they have. That's a ghetto mentality that we've been trained to have since we could walk. And you look at other cultures, like I know Arab ladies who they got married at 19, they're 60, they're still married, got kids. And that some of them have arranged marriages, but they don't believe in divorce. They don't believe in abortion. They don't do those things. Only in America is these things very big, and especially in our culture. So we have to look at things without the beer goggles and use a clearer lens to understand that we need to learn how to vacate the toxicity that we have been taught and miseducated on, because we believe that this is how we're supposed to be. We believe that we were brought up thinking that we were supposed to be pimps and players. We were brought up thinking you're supposed to knock off as many girls as you can. If you get them pregnant, so what? We were taught you got to have the best car, you got to have the best shoes, the biggest knot in your pocket, you got to have the buffs on, you got to have your D hat cocked, you got to be on 7 Mile doing your thing. So we weren't taught that there's trauma behind those things. There's drama behind those things. There's a trail that you leave behind that other people are going to have to pick those pieces up. And with the women, a lot of women aren't valuing themselves the way they would if they were in a prestigious culture. The culture that we live in, we aren't valuing ourselves. Women aren't valuing themselves the way they should. They think that they are, based on you can spend $5,000 on me to take me shopping and to fly me out and to get me some bust down nails and get me a sew in and buy me this little outfit, get my toes done, get me the best lotion and buy me a bottle of Douce or some Hennessy and roll up the woods and let's just we've lowered our, like, women have turned into something else in that culture. And I think that we can, at least some people can get out of that mentality. I do believe that. I believe that some people can get out of that mentality to find a healthy form of relationship and dating, to get married. Because single people abort babies, married people don't. Single people want all these extra crazy things. Married people know we got to work together to make this roof over our head stay and to make that car run and to go out to the movies here, this and there, and have the nice foods that we want every now and then. We compromise. We learn each other. We a healthy relationship is about what your partner wants and what you can do to help. Not just what I want, what I want. That's not healthy. That's a child. That's a 4-year-old that cries when they can't get a bag of chips or some candy. When you mature and you grow older, you understand that I don't get everything that I want, but I'm okay. And I can work for things myself. Next point. Family and love. So there's healthy love, which is in most responsible two-parent homes, classy homes, people who have a standard, a nice high standard for themselves. And then you have the ghetto love and the ghetto definition of family and love and dysfunction and craziness and single parent homes and, showing kids things they shouldn't see. It's a lot when you start to talk about the dysfunction in the urban culture of family. Now, believe me, I come from these places, so I know that there are people watching these videos that's going to try to say I'm anti-this or anti-black. No, I'm not. I come from the city. I'm from the east side of Detroit. I came from nothing. But what I'm saying is I took the beer goggles off and I started to see clearer. And all I'm trying to do is help my people see clearer. Sometimes you got to hear about yourself in order to change. It don't happen overnight, but we got to take baby steps until we get there. So understand that there's a certain dysfunction when it comes to our definition of love and our definition of family. We will lie to each other. We will fight each other. We will be jealous of each other. We will sabotage each other. We will do things and act as if they're normal. And if someone does it to you, it's a tit for tat in this normality. We don't know how to talk things out. We don't know how to say, you know what, we disagree, but we're still family. I still love you. I'm still going to pray for you. If we can't come to some type of terms, that's okay. No, we going to fight. We putting you in a headlock. We hitting you with the stone cold stunner. We rock bottoming you through the table. And then tomorrow we going to see each other with the black eye and the busted up elbow and act like we cool. That's dysfunction, people. You can't rock bottom somebody through a table and tomorrow act like you're cool. That's TV, that's wrestling. Understand that on today, people, that this is real life. You get one life. And a lot of us are living it in dysfunction. Another thing about culture is identity. Some of us in America don't have our true identity. Some of us in America don't know what our identity is. And a lot of people say, well, just find out or do this or that. If it was that easy. This is not against anyone, but an Asian person knows their identity. They can go back and find out everything that they need to find out. A Latino person knows their identity. Caucasian people know their identity. There are so many people who can trace back where they come from, and they have a home, they have a history, they have culture, they have ancient culture, they have things to fall back on, whether it be pagan, whether it be of, whatever system that they have an identity and a culture. Now, the African American, the Black American, the indigenous, the Hebrew, the Israelite, the Indian, the Moor, there's so many names that we call ourselves. Why? Because we don't know. A lot of people will tell you, yeah, we know this and we traced this back and we did that. But we're still right here not knowing. Because when you go to Africa, ain't nobody checking for us. When you go to Africa, ain't nobody sitting up there saying, that's my brother. They say you an American. And if you're an American, you're a foreigner. So we are the people who were supposedly brought here against our will, taught a different language, served different gods, learned different things, and now we don't know anything. So now our identity is being given to us by the so-called enemy. So now you have people who are giving you what you should wear, how you should talk, how you should act, how you should be in your relationships. This is all a brainwashing. Why we're robbing each other, why when we riot, we burn down stores around the corner from our own homes, driving the property values down, which we probably don't own the homes anyway. But understand the gang activity that we have, it's in our neighborhoods. Everything that we're doing, they trained us to make sure that we cut each other's feet off. The Kunta Kinte metaphor is real. We make sure that we are hindering each other at every turn. The enemy has made us enemies to each other. One day, we're gonna have to wake up. If not, it's just gonna get worse. Next point. So I'll do this. I know some people will be mad and some people will be like, I never thought of that. This is about winning. The culture. There are people who live in a culture of class. There's people who live in a culture of just being normal. And then there's a people who live in a culture of being ghetto. So we'll do this. Patrick Mahomes versus Rashee Rice. They both win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes off doing commercials, probably off doing charity work, probably off doing press conferences. Hey, man, I'm out here, just trying to help the kids, man, and live my life and do the things that I do. Me and my wife, we're having kids, and I'm at NASCAR, and I'm loving it, and I'm throwing footballs to the little kids who can't afford a ticket to the game, and, I'm just at the Super Bowl parade with Travis Kelce. We're just loving life. And then you got Rashee Rice, who's involved in an incident. Now, I'm not a news reporter. I'm not a cop. I don't know everything that happened. I just know that it seems to be that people that come from our culture, when we win, when we get money, when we basically dig our way out of the slums, we still have that slum activity. And this is no disrespect to Rashee Rice. Like I said, I don't know. I'm just saying that I haven't seen that happen to Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce somewhere probably dancing with Taylor Swift. There's a difference in culture, meaning that the way we react to things, the way we do things when we lose is different, and the way we do things when we win is different. What would I be doing? I'd probably be trying to work on my game, try to find me some endorsements, try to work on some charity work, try to better myself in reading, find, my creator, whatever. But that's just me. People gonna do what they do. I'm not telling Rashee what he needs to do, but I'm just saying that there's a difference in culture. And sometimes we have to realize that the patterns and the path that we have been given is set up to fail. We have to learn how to break free of that, people. We go on to the next point. So there's something about the ghetto culture, the ratchet culture, when it comes to drama. Classy people take the high road. LeBron James takes the high road. Barack Obama takes the high road. Love them or hate them. You can call them Freemasons, Skull and Bones, Secret Society, whatever you want, Boule, this, that, and the other. They take the high road. And then you have people who don't take the high road. They get petty. They get real petty. And it lets you know where they come from. Because winners don't hate on losers. The only winners that hate on losers are people that's from the ghetto and ratchet culture. The only rich person that sits around and talk about how broke you are is somebody in a ratchet culture. How many rappers sit around and talk about how broke we are and how rich they are? They just crap on us constantly, all day, every day. I'm rich. I got the money. I got the cars. I got the clothes, and you ain't got nothing. You looking at me on TV spending the money that you spent to watch me at a show. Something about our culture that we like crapping on each other when we got stuff and other people don't. But you don't see people wasting their time on those things in other cultures because they're too busy winning. They're too busy doing the things that they have to do to continue winning, to look back and say, y'all ain't got nothing and I got everything. But that's just the dramatic culture that we live in. We love drama. We love the Cat Williams thing with all the comedians. We love the TD Jakes, the Diddy stuff. We love did Meek Mill do this? Oh, did Christopher Williams do this? Did Usher do this? Oh, we love Usher in the Super Bowl. Like, I'm not saying that I don't talk about these things. I'm not saying that I don't have a perspective on these things. I'm just saying that we are so wrapped up in these people instead of just saying, okay, it is what it is. I got an opinion and then I'll move on. But we get wrapped up in it because we love the drama. That's why we love the Housewives and Love and Hip Hop and all the crazy reality shows and the Kardashians, because we love drama. Women ain't watching the WNBA, they watching the Housewives. Why? Because they love drama. They want to see somebody throw a glass of wine in somebody's face and slap them and talk behind their back and say what you ain't gonna do and grab the air. Pretty chaos, beautiful chaos. You see all these beautiful women on TV with these $70,000 bodies and fake hair and this and that, and they're so beautiful, but they're so chaotic. It's beautiful chaos, people. Women love it. Tell me I'm wrong. We go on to the next point. So another thing is, and I'll close on this. I know we've been going a while. How we handle trauma, externally and internally, because that's how you handle trauma. That's how you handle things in your life. Internally, if something happens to you, you suppress it inside. And if something happens to you in your external, you push it out. So it's like output, input. An external person, if you're in a healthy environment, you go to a therapist. You talk to your family. You become vulnerable and let people know it's an output, it's external. Internally, if you're in a healthy place, you process and you learn yourself. You talk to yourself, you figure things out yourself internally. But if you're in the culture that I was brought up in, we were taught, as men, they were taught to hold everything in internally. Don't cry, don't have no emotions. If you cut your arm, don't say nothing. If somebody steal from you, if somebody break in your house, if your woman break your heart, if your kid stay out all night, if they run away, you keep it internal. You don't shed one tear. You be a robot. Be robotic. And then externally, we're taught violence. We're taught to be violent. In classy homes, they are taught therapy. In Ratchet homes, we are taught violence. We are taught to punch the wall, punch the mirror, punch who's ever closest to you, punch whoever says something wrong to you. You can't disagree with me without me throwing these fists up, grabbing a knife, grabbing a bottle, grabbing a gun. I'm going to end you. That's what we're taught. Tell me I'm wrong. And I'm not saying that that's everyone, but understand there's a difference. You can live in an urban area and still have a classy mentality. You can, but it's very rare. And vice versa, especially now with the way that rap has taken over a lot of homes that are not of African American, the Caucasians, the Asians, the Indians. You have all these people who want to play a part in that ghetto culture, in that ratchet culture, not understanding that you will start to inherit the same toxic traits and values that we're trying to get away from. I'm going to do another video on this because these are it's almost never ending. But really, I just want to get an idea. I want you to get an idea of the brainwashing of this culture that we have been, we wear it like a badge of honor every day, not realizing that this culture was put on us for us to lose. And I'm saying this, people, you don't have to be a savage. You don't have to be Ratchet. You don't have to be crazy. There's a whole world out here that you haven't seen or experienced yet outside of your neighborhood. And I guarantee you, everyone isn't trying to kill you. Everyone isn't going to hate you. Understand this, people. It's time to level up. It's time to educate ourselves. It's time to read. It's time to research. It's time to love. Till next time, it's your boy Hally. I love y'all. It's GVG Podcast. We tearing away all these fake gods. We tearing away the gods of jealousy, the gods of envy, the gods of anxiety, the gods of smoking weed, the gods of drunkardness, the gods of lotto numbers, and the gods of these lottery preachers. And there's so many deities and people that we worship and put in front of the Heavenly Father, but we tearing those away an episode at a time, people. So just follow your boy as I follow the Heavenly Father. Till next time, we out. I love all of y'all. Thank you for being a part of this experience. GVG appreciates every single one of you. I hope you came away from this video with a little more perspective, patience, understanding, and purpose. So until next time, we on Christ time.